What happened? Hello, hello. Yeah.
Can you ask them if they will be here once?
Video is clear? Is
Video is clear too. Yes.
clear? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it looks like it jammed. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Like the way there are two portions, that is what is technology and the other is science, the basic science, philosophy, and then application. And application is called as generally the technical terms, that application is called as the upasana krama, upasana methods that are there, and then siddhanta. So the same, which is similar to science and technology. Same way in the this thing also, in the dharma also, that there is what is called as the science and the other is technology. Science has all these questions and all that, and then technology, we see how the technology is applicable to reach that whatever the expected goals. So this culture has given both these things, science and technology, and upasana krama. In fact, every Upanishad has this upasana krama. In fact, they say that Panchakosha is an upasana, avasthatraya upasana. So these are the prakriyas. That means these are the practice. But anyway, the idea is that both these things are available in the culture. And what we are looking at in the beginning is to establish the science. And in the science that we question. So therefore, what is dharma? The basic question. And the very definition says dharati, the dharma, that which sustains is dharma. Now, this another thing is that when it sustains the dharma, that means everything in this universe is sustained. So therefore, dharma should be there, anything and everything in this universe. Or not only that, that's what is the essential basis behind this. So it is the plant and the animal and everything, whatever that is dharma, is there for the human being also, basically. There is nothing that misses this dharma aspect of it. But in the case of, that is the reason why we say that that which sustains the water is its nature, called quality. And what wetting is its dharma. Like that we started our basic idea. Then it comes to the animals, then it is complex, and the plants it is complex. So like that, we have gone through all those things. When it comes to the human being, it's much more complex. But even though it is much more complex at the human being level, we say that it's in the nature. When we say it is the nature, that means whatever that is there human, you can see in the nature also. Like for example, I gave the examples of animal also have compassion. Animals also have the idea of fellow feeling. I said that we translate to human being. So whatever that we translate to human being, whatever that is there in the animals, this is what is essentially the nyaya or the law. Like I gave the example of that a tiger doesn't eat the deer because the tiger's hunger is taken care of. So why do I unnecessarily have to kill the deer? And much more than that, there is compassion. That's what I have given this another example also, where you see that dog protecting the ducklings. They're supposed to be food for the dog, but then the compassion is such a way that it takes care of it. Similarly, the stories to indicate that idea, how the compassion is there. When in the beautiful story, which is, you can never forget about that, and that's what is the Punya Koti story, where the cow follows the nyaya, so therefore the tiger recognizes that. So all these things give an idea that it is in the nature, in the animals, and then we are actually repeating it at the human being level. And when we say that it is nature, that means it's coming from within, because we are basically me. Then I don't have any system, outside system to impose on. They give a suggestion that you take care of it, we take care of it. So this is what is the barter system that we have. If it comes from within, that's why I said if the law comes from within, then the society itself is wonderful. We don't have to look at for dharma or anything like that. This itself is good enough. If it doesn't come within us, then we have to have a law enforcement authority, punishing authority, all these things. It's all unnecessary overheads that we. Can we have a society which can go back to that level where the law comes from within? So this is what we said. So dharma is something which is law taken care of, and it transcends beyond that law. And there are people who are, we call it as dharmatmas, because they have shown the transcendence, how they followed the dharma beyond the level of nyaya. Nyaya is taken care of, law can be taken care of, but much more than that. They did not say that, yeah, law says like this, so I follow the law. They said the law may be there, but I go much beyond. That's why we have such characters of Rama, Krishna, who followed something which is much more than the nyaya. And that's why they are dharmatmas. And what is that? We have seen in the case of Rama that he was banished to the forest. And then Lakshmana vehemently argues, and there were argument by the other people also. Rama, you don't have to go to the forest, because according to the rules of Kshatriya, the eldest should be the king. It is not the prerogative of somebody's whims and fancies come in the way. If Dasharatha may have some idea that he has promised his wife, and then that promise does not interfere with this one, because this is overlying principle. Therefore, Rama, you don't have to go to the forest. And he also gives another logical argument, saying that you are the eldest of the clan, so therefore you should get the kingdom. There is no way that she can come and ask Bharata to be given the kingdom, because that Bharata is not the eldest king, eldest son. So obviously, this is one thing is that her desire cannot be taken care of. Second thing is the law itself says that the eldest will get the kingdom. And third, he used the Kshatriya Dharma. First is the Dharma of the individual, Dharma of the clan, and then the Dharma of Kshatriya. Kshatriya Dharma says that if you are strong, that you are the king. And if she thinks, in fact, the discussion was, if she thinks that Bharata will get the support from his uncle and all that, and then he will try to take over the Ayodhya, then I am alone, single-handed, I can stop the whole army. So first let them defeat me, then they come to you. And this can never happen. Because, you see, you have to think of Rama not as God, but as somebody who can really strategize the things. When all these arguments are given, Rama says, Lakshmana, you don't know the ways of Dharma. I'm going to the forest. In fact, the original Ramayana, when we go into, the reasons why he has gone to the forest, all those things are so clearly given. Actually, what happened was that when he married Kaikeyi, at that point of time, Keka Raja, he says that one logic that I give my daughter to the marriage to you, provided her son is going to be the king. And Dasharatha doesn't have any problem on that, because the simple reason is that he's marrying Kaikeyi because that he doesn't have any children. And for so long years that Kausalya didn't have a child, and then Sumitra didn't have a child. Only Kaikeyi can get the child. Okay, all right. Anyway, it belongs to him. You see, what a simple way that he gave the promise. But then what you think and then what the Vidhata thinks, or what the karma thinks, is a different way. All the three, they got the pregnancy, they got the children because of that Putra Kameshti Yaga. and out of which this Kausalya's child was the eldest. So therefore Rama was there. So he is the eldest, so he gets the kingdom. See, it's a very now cunning. But then this was bothering in Dasharatha's mind. So it was somewhere in his corner saying that I don't know whether Kaikeyi will accept it or not. And so therefore what happened is that we wanted to do it overnight, fix it overnight, because he also expressed that way, that Kaikeyi also likes Rama. He loves Rama, and there are many occasions earlier, Kaikeyi herself addresses Rama as he is the Yuvraj. Rather than addressing Bharata, she addresses Rama as Yuvraj. These were the things which are going on. So naturally he thought, you see, taken for granted that she accepts it, and then he executed it, keeping everything in low. Therefore, what happens is, when he creates this whole Pattabhisheka at that time, he gives instructions particularly to Sumanta, let the message go to all the Samanta kings, but let it not go to these two people. One is, he said, Kaikeyi Raja, it should not go. And then second thing is, it should not go to Janaka. Because Janaka is a Brahmajnani. So he didn't want to confront it. Probably that was going on in the mind of Dasharatha. He didn't express that. He only says to Sumanta that let it not reach those people, but let it go to the altar. Let them know later on. Very casually he says, but that was there in his mind. And Manthara takes the charge of that. And then she does so much of poisoning the mind of Kaikeyi. Actually, Kaikeyi was against Manthara. She says, no, you can't do that. Manthara says, you don't know what's this conspiracy going on behind it. Actually, the conspiracy is to see that slowly that Rama becomes the king. Bharata is eliminated. And this was never there. And therefore, when you look at this, when Bharata is not there, that's time it was thought of. Second thing is, the message is not sent to Kaikeyi Raja. So all these things will prove my point. I'm right. And you are in the darkness. He says to Kaikeyi, you can't even think of it. In fact, in the normal kingdoms, these are the things which will happen in any case. And then are you missing this point? Oh, you see how the whole problem has come up. So therefore, she could convince Kaikeyi to that Kaikeyi says, but then what to do? Says, look, you are gone. Imagine that a year later, 2 years later, that Kausalya looks at you, you are a servant's mother. Because Rama is the king, Bharata will be servant. You think that Bharata is Rama's brother, and that is in your mind. But then Bharata will be servant. Because Rama becomes the king. So naturally, you are servant's mother. You don't have a role here. All that imagination is built into Kaikeyi. So what to do? You know, she came to the panic stage. Said, tell me what to do. What to do? Actually, king at this point of time is fond of it. And take advantage of it. So that you go to the Kopagruha and then you see that you break all those things and all. Then he has promised you, because during the war of Devatas, you saved him, and then he has given 2 boons. Ask these 2 boons now. And then say that, look, you are just asking this boon. Otherwise, if he wants to give it up, he can give it up also. He doesn't want to take care of it. See, that's why blackmailing. All that Manthara plans. So meticulous. And that's what happens. And now Rama was summoned. Rama doesn't know all these things, or Rama knows about all those things at the background. But at that point of time, is it the point that is there? He doesn't even have an idea. He said, okay, he should be coronated. That he accepted. Then he was summoned. He comes there. When he comes there, he looks at the way that what's happening. And he goes to see Dasharatha. Dasharatha is not in his chamber. So therefore, he is at the Kaikeyi's palace. They went to Kaikeyi's palace. They went to Kaikeyi's palace. That's where he was shocked to see that king is lying down on the floor. and then sobbing and crying and this and that. And then she asks, what happened? Why is that not all health? No, no, his health is all right. Only thing is, he is little upset. And then Rama asks, why he is upset? What is the point? Basically that he wanted to ask you something, but then he is upset because you might scold him. You might get angry with him. Rama says, even if he asks me to give my life, my head, I'm ready to give my head. There is a question, am I getting angry? No, no, but you say like that, but I don't know whether dad will accept it or not. You see how beautifully she organizes the whole thought. Then he says that, yes, you see, at that point of time, he says to Kaikeyi, that's Ramo Dvir Napi Bhashate. That means there are no two things about Rama. He says something, accepts it. Then why don't you sit down and, take rest and all that? This is very serious. I said, what is serious? Then she says that these two boons are there, gifts that he has given me during the time of uh, the war of the gods and goddesses at that time. Then I said that at any point of time, I will ask, and now I asked, and he has to give it. And he has to give it, he has to ask you that. So therefore, he is struggling and he's afraid, afraid that you might not accept. So that Rama, first of all, promises, yes, I totally accept it. Whatever you can ask, I can give it. Then she takes out that card saying that Rama has to go to Rama, you have to go to the forest for 14 years. And she doesn't say 14 years. She said 7 plus 7 years. Sapta Sapta Varsha. There is a logical point in that Sapta. If more than 10 years, if he is out of the kingdom, he will no more be a king. He will no more be a prince. So therefore, 2 sevens, that means he is still continuing to be prince. Why she said like that is that I'm not asking to go away. After 14 years, he will come back, he will be the king. You look at the calculation she has done. Sapta Sapta cha Varsha. Then that's all that you have to go to the forest for 7 plus 7 years or 14 years. And then don't worry about Ayodhya, because after all, Ayodhya will be taken care of by Bharata, my son. And he is capable. Rama says, yes, Bharata is more capable than me. So I'm not worried about Ayodhya at all. And going to the forest, well, I'll go to the forest. 17, 14 years, I'll go to the forest. But you said something serious. Okay, this is not even serious to them. In spite of it, Kaikeyi was not very sure. Because she has an idea that, and he says that, okay, I'm going to the forest. And then Kaikeyi says that, why don't you go now itself? Because if it becomes dark, the wild animals will be very out in the forest, so that your life is in danger. Before they get up, then why don't you go to the forest? Then Rama becomes a little more serious. He says, do you think that I just get changed? No, I given a word and I follow that word. And that's what Rama says that. But let me convince my mother, let me convince Sita that I'm going to the forest so that they will accept it. I'm definitely prepared to make them accept it. Then he goes to Kausalya and Sita. And that is what when Rama says that I'm going to the forest. She says, today itself you go. Yes, right now I'm going. And he comes out of that chamber and there is this, all the decorations that were supposed to be decorated for the next day for the coronation, they are there. While going, he would have seen that and smiled that, these are all the things decorated. But when he came out, he said, these are decorated to the Bharata. Bharata is the king and I'm a servant. He bows in front of that. Now, says that the Bharata will lead the kingdom. And then he goes to Kausalya's place and Sita was there. Lakshmana came there immediately looking at all these things. And then Lakshmana argues to Rama This is where basically dharma and nyaya difference is very clearly shown. Lakshmana says, Rama, you don't have to go to the forest because you are the eldest of the son. So therefore, you give. Second thing is you are this, uh, the clan that is there. That means to say this Raghuvamsha. The rule is that you have to be the king. And third is that Kshatriya Dharma that you don't have. With all those things, Rama says, Lakshmana, you don't know the ways of Dharma. Dharma is so much loftier than Nyaya. You are talking about the Nyaya, logical points, but I follow Dharma. I'm going to the forest. Dharma is I have given word to my father so that I follow that. So, that's just, you can accept it. You see, the same father told me that you'll be coronated. And same father told me go to the forest. He is a bad father. He is a good father when he asked me to coronate. And he will he become a bad father because that he goes to the forest? He has some compulsions in him because of his doing. In fact, if I show any resentment in going to the forest, it will hurt father. I don't want to hurt father, so I'm going to the forest. See, where the lofty level of dharma, when he showed that loftiness of dharma, then immediately Lakshmana says, I'll go with you. I'll go with you, I'll take care of you. Because basically, and that's the moment when Kausalya recognizes that. I mean, Sumitra recognizes. He says, Lakshmana, you shadow Rama all the time because Rama is precious. And then Sita says, and Rama says everything to Sita that you to take care of this, that, all. Rama doesn't usually speak without taking the consent. Without taking consent, he says that you have to take care of your father-in-law, you have to take care of this house is like that. You cannot cry because that I'm not there and all that. Because if you cry, others feel that you are suffering. So all these things he gives. And then Sita says, who are you telling? That I'm telling you. No, my father said, when married me to you, he said that you follow Rama wherever you go. So I go with you. No, forest is so bad, forest is this, forest is that. See, forest, all those things are there. Wildlife is there, this is there. But you are there, no. So I'm safe. As long as you are there, I'm safe. See, how Rama manages, very beautiful. That after all those things, Sita says, I'm going with you. Okay. And Rama says that, Kaikeyi says this. See, I asked Rama should go with Valkala. That means to say and if Rama is in Valkala, you can't go with the special dress. No, she says, what's big deal? I go with the Valkala itself. That brings sadness to this, all these queens. They said, what happened to you? I mean, you are asking Rama to go in the Valkala, that's all right. But Sita will go in that? They get so much angry at Kaikeyi. They said, no. Rama says, yeah, mother is right. Sita says, yes, Amma is right. Therefore, I will go in the Valkala. At that time, Anasuya says that, okay, I will help you to have that. Because she doesn't know how to use the Valkala. I help you to do that. So she makes that and then she comes. Look at the characters show that where the dharma is and how lofty dharma is. And then when Lakshmana says, I will go, Sita is going, then Urmila says, what about me? You stay back. You have to take care of the parents. And then Lakshmana says, all that instructions Rama gave to Sita is actually instructions for you. And Rama directly cannot give instruction to Urmila because Urmila is the wife of Lakshmana. But Lakshmana in front of others, he cannot give instruction. So Rama's instructions are diverted that way. See how Valmiki organizes all these things. Think of it, 7,000 years ago, the texts were so critical about all these things. What was the culture that was? And then they go to the forest. And the idea is that this is what is the idea to show that Nyaya is taken care of, Dharma is something which is higher than the Nyaya. The normal course of time that we see that a high school teacher will have a MS, PhD or BCom, MPhil, this, that, and all those things. That means to say that if you have so much of knowledge, then you give so little knowledge to that. The proportion is like that. The same way that even the Nyaya, if somebody has to take care of, he should have the Dharma in his hands. The king has to follow the Dharma so that people can follow the Nyaya. Look at the way today in the politics what it is. The rulers have to follow the Dharma so that people can follow the Nyaya. It's a simple thing. Because they have a higher ideas, higher. This difference we need to make. So that's why Nyaya is the first pillar for Dharma. The second pillar for Dharma is Satya. That's why we say in Ramayana, in this Surya Namaskara mantra, Satya Dharmaya Drishta. That means to say, Satya and Dharma together we use it. Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara. In Taittiriya Upanishad mantras also, when you're giving the Snatakottara mantra, that means for the students, they say that follow these two things, Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara. That means Satya is something which is very important for Dharma. Why is it so important about Satya? Because Satya is the only thing which communicates. Our tongue, our talk is the only way that I communicate with the others. All other senses, the input is inside, senses taken. And my mouth is the only thing which conveys outside. See, it has whole responsibility of my personality. So therefore, it has to take extra care to see that it gives the right way the knowledge is there. Then the society is in harmony. It should not be influenced by anything that is there outside. However care that you might take, but then it can easily be influenced. Your own emotions influence it. Your own priorities influence it. So that's why Satya is that it is like the way that whatever that happened and then whatever that you communicate, you perceive and then communicate. Absolutely, there is no gap in between. Absolutely, there is no influence. It should be just mirroring the whole thing that is there. If that is the way it is there, that is what is Satya. So therefore, my word that I say has all these qualities that are necessary to be there in Satya. What is that? In fact, in Taittiriya Upanishad mantras, it says that Siksham Vyakhyashyamaha Varnaha Swaraha Matra Balam Sama Sandhana. All these things have to be taken care of. That means to say my expression, my feeling behind it, my urgency of what is present, I have my lenience I present and all those things, and what emphasis I have to give, what is to be emphasized, what is not to be emphasized. All those things are part of Satya. Like for example, I see some accident and then I come home and said, what happened? Son met with an accident. I think he lost his life. Are you reporting something like this? Or unnecessary reporting. In the morning, in the news that they report saying that breaking news and what this happened, that happened, this happened. And so many terrorists died, so many people died. And after all those, good morning to you. I don't know what is good morning about that. So therefore, Satya has all these components involved in that. Yeah, it's a breaking news. The very name itself is breaking news. And there, news is not important. Breaking also is not important. Idea is your channel is giving you first. That means it is my channel, as in it's your channel. Wow. How much that we're away from Dharma. So that's why this is basically Satya. Now, Satya is not simple. It's not that simple because it has communicated everything. In fact, Swami Anbananda says something. Between you and audience and me, mic is there. If mic starts making noise, my noise is not to be The property of mic is that whatever I say has to communicate to you. If it doesn't communicate, I throw this mic, I throw away the mic wala also. He is very jovial that way. So therefore, basically, the communication has to be done like that. And it all these components, matra, balam, samaha, sandhanaha, the way that I present all, everything has to be there. Then only Siksham Yaksas. That's what is the idea that it is. We have no idea of this communication at all these days. So, Satyam Vada. Satya is so important. And this itself is something so lofty. Can you think of it? Is there some influence coming from my side? Or is my mirror clean, clear? Absolutely no blemish on the clean. It's like the way that I have the, these glass in the shop, the glasses there. So clean that you don't see the glasses there, you just don't fit it. You should be like that glass. There's nothing is carried in that kind of thing. That is what is Satya. When I'm reporting it, I should see that 100% purity is there. And what is that impurity? Impurity is you are supporting. That means your emotions, your perceptions, and your conclusions will follow that. Don't add all those things. That's what is Satya. But then that's only whatever that happened, you report it. It's only one part of it. Patanjali takes it much deeper, and Upanishad also takes it. Dharma also takes it much deeper. And what is that? Satya is for the sake of what is said that you, whatever that you see, whatever that you experience, you present it. But that's not sufficient. Satya also, because human being can give about the future also. Yes, I will do it. Moment I say that I will do it, that means you are bound by that. You cannot go back from that. You said something, so this is what is called as authenticity. So therefore, basically, whatever that is future. Now, not only that, actually, Satya behind that, whatever that I say, is karma. Behind that is what is called as the words that I use it. So vak, karma. Both these things have to perfect alignment in Satya. Not only the vak and the karma, but also mind behind it. Manasa, vacha, karmana. But not only manas, behind that, even the sankalpa also should be in the same alignment. Sankalpa, manasa, vacha, karmana, because sankalpa is the origin of any idea. And vak is the expression. That means to say, origin to the expression, it's one unison. That is what is Satya. When the Satya is like that with the people, that yuga, that period of time is called as Satya Yuga. Because absolutely there is no change anywhere. And that is Satya, is the one which sustains the nature. Okay? The nature is sustained by that. That's why I said Dharma, sustain Dharma. Dharma, one aspect is the Nyaya, second aspect is Satya. And Satya has to be from that perfect alignment. When that alignment is there, right from the level of Sankalpa to the level of Karma Kruta, that's why it is called as Satya Loka or the Kruta Loka. Kruta Yuga. Huh? Because karma is kriti. Yes, karma is the last step. So when I say that I do it, it is coming from my sankalpa all the way to the doing. So nowhere that Jyoti is there. Imagine people were that Satya together with that, then nothing can change that. That's why Krita Yuga, the Satya Yuga, is the longest of Yuga. There is no way of Chuti at all. The Chuti can come at the level of great saints, great people. They were also like that. But in their life also, the Chuti can come at that level at the Sankalpa. Like my Sankalpa is to make a pot. And right from the Sankalpa to the Kriti, I can make the pot. And that too, I take the mud from the riverbed, right up and then pot it, make a pot, and carry water with that. That means there's such an wonderful alignment with that. And this fellow Jamdagni was a lazy guy. He doesn't want to come to the river. Wife Renuka is supposed to carry the river, but he's also very finicky. He wants to take water, pure water. She cannot bring the water in any vessel. So therefore, she has to make a pot out of the river water, river mud, and in the sun she dries it up and then take the water to him. Like all the husband, he is also lazy. Concession. So he has to take it. And one day that when she is doing that, she's been doing that. Her sankalpa has been so perfect. This is what is called as the sankalpa shuddhi. Imagine the sankalpa shuddhi was there, she used to do. But one day it so happened that while she was doing all those things, Indra came. And she looked at Indra, her sankalpa got disturbed. All other things were there, sankalpa. But the sankalpa was not there, pot was not. And the pot was not made. She became all the more tense. She can't take the water. Naturally, she went back home without taking water. Rishi looked at her. You missed it. That means Satya, you left it. So therefore, he called his sons. Come on, behead her. Because, you see, my wife is not more important. Actually, dharma is more important. Yuga has to sustain dharma. They said, no, we don't do it because our mother it is. And he made them into ashes. Then he calls the last little fellow. And that was Parshurama. He said, cut off mother's head. He just quickly cut off mother's head. After the mother's head is cut off, then suddenly dad realized the problem. And then he asked son, actually, because that he also followed my order. So therefore he says, my dear son, ask me what you want. He says, I want my mother back. Okay, all right, your mother is back. Renuka takes a rebirth. Any rebirth is coming from purity. In fact, the way that you said that, if Indra comes with 1,000 times beauty, Renuka would laugh at him because that was the purification. So therefore, basically, look at the way where the Satya was held, Pratayuga. But then slowly degeneration takes place. Manasa, Vacha, Karmanaha, when these three things are there together, that itself is wonderful. That means your manas and your what and your karma is in wonderful alignment. That itself is great. Satya is holding the nature on three padas, 4 padas to 3 padas.
That's how Manasa say that Indra is the thing which bears the
It's not buddhi. Beyond the buddhi, sankalpa comes from the consciousness. Yeah, this is, yes, he is distracted from sankalpa. The sankalpa is not which is, yeah. Sorry?
Analogically, Indra would be considered as a distractor.
Yes, distractor. In fact, I tell you where the distractor. In the case of Sita, also the distraction comes. I give the story about Sita. So the moment that distraction comes, then your sankalpa is deviated. Sankalpa, you are not there again. When sankalpa is gone, then you cannot make it. You are over. And then when the sankalpa is not there, manasa, vacha, karma, then all these three things are, it is called as Treta Yuga. So that's why it is said, Treta Yuga, dharma is on 4 padas. 4 padas is very, very strong, stable. And 3 padas, it is less stable, but it's still all right. It is correct. So therefore, it is Treta Yuga has 3 padas, that is Manasa, Vacha, Karma. So all these 3 things were there in the case of Sita, Rama, etc., etc. Very clear. They never talk about Sankalpa there. But the next Yuga, even the mind is also gone. So Vacha, Karmana together. That's what is supposed to be Dwapara Yuga. 2 supports are there. So what happens is that when the 2 supports are there and third is there, that means Manas is there, it must be extraordinary person. He knows about what is the mind. And he's Manas, Vacha, Karma, they are together. They belong to the previous yuga. And Bhishma was one such person. That's why Bhishma was higher than the Dwapar Yuga level. In what way? You could see that when Duryodhana comes to him and touches his feet before the war, and Bhishma says, yeah, Sukhi Bhava, something like that. No, I came to seek the blessings of success in the war. Then Bhishma says, you don't have that. I don't see that you have that. I cannot give you. That means Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, he is very clear about it. But if Duryodhana would have understood it, he would have stopped the war at that point of time. But he doesn't understand that. Therefore, he says, I know that you are always Pandav Pakshapati. He blames Duryodhana, when Bhishma. You never understood me. See, what a tragedy it is. It doesn't have that. Rishis had that Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, they are there. That's why their blessings are supposed to be so important. Vidura is also there. He's a wonderful person. He's an extraordinary person. That's why Vidura is keeping himself at level where what his role is to play. He never went beyond that, but he's extraordinary. You're the only person who gave support to Bhishma. And it's an extraordinary support, particularly at the time when Lakshagra Dahana happened. It was whole Vidura's plan. What Vidura has done is so tremendous at that point of time, because Bhishma, he could not disclose to Bhishma. He tells Bhishma, Bhishma will go to Dhritarashtra and all those things, it becomes tam-tam. But this plan is going on from behind, that Pandavas to be burnt in the Lakshatra. This was going on. Vidura knew about that. Immediately, when he got that message, he arranged it this way: 5 people who are workers should go there to the building. And then they do some little work around the building. And then the night, they're provided with liquor and all those things so that they sleep there. Vidura organized to see these people. And not only that, at that point of time, he kept one fellow to dig a tunnel all the way going right up to inside that Lakshatra. So all these people drunk, they are lying down there. That was the moment. What happened is that he made this Pandavas to escape through the tunnel away. Pandavas and Nanda. Now, before they came to burn the Lakshatra, because the arrangement was there, somebody will come and burn. But they'll see these people are sleeping there and all that. Before that, they burned their Lakshatra and went away. Just minutes before that. So that they thought Lakshatra anyway is burnt. Probably these workers must have done. So that nobody thought that workers were there and then they did all that. Vidura knows. Why he allowed the workers to die there is that they should see 5 or 6 charred bodies, and there also Pandavas died. They went and reported to Duryodhana, Pandavas died. So that is what they wanted to have it. And Vidura made them to escape. But there is one thing that happens is that the message that went to Duryodhana, and he did the tam-tam in the whole palace, so therefore Bhishma also came to know about that. And he was completely shattered, because only thing I was thinking of this Kuru Vamsha is the Pandavas. And Pandavas are dead. Now why am I doing anything for these fools? And then he said, enough is enough. Now I take a point to go back to my, because he is Ichhapanada. He said, I'll give my life. He went to Ganga to drop. Ganga comes up there. What is this? Oh, I want to give up my life. This life is, what? A person like this become weak like this. So then what should I do? I go back. A lot to do. Ganga says, I don't give you permission to give up life. Now, He came back.
Yes.
He came
And
out.
then with a robot.
Can you please mute? I'm getting the sound. Yes. So therefore, Vidura comes. Vidura came to know that it is the rumors spread in palace. Immediately rushes to Ganga's, Gandhara's place. That means Bhishma's place. Bhishma was not there. He knew where Bhishma has gone. I rushed to Ganga. And Bhishma is coming back from Ganga. Actually, you are here searching for you. What can I do? Ganga, mother, does not give me permission to die. Don't die. How can I live? Why? What for I should live? Pandavas are not there. And for these Kauravas I have to live. Then Vidura says, Pandavas did not die. What? Pandavas did not. What happened? They escaped the Lakshadra. How did it happen? All that happened. 15 days I planned. But they've seen the 5 charred bodies. They are the workers who bought, not the Pandavas. Why don't you tell me? If I tell you that you taught up in the whole palace, I kept you away from this. Ah, wonderful. You know it. Yes. What you cannot do it, I can do it. Indra said, Baba, that's good. The Pandavas said, where are they? I don't tell you. Because the whole thing has to sink into the people that Pandavas died. Pandavas are not there. Then they will come out. That's when Krishna brings them out. Can't find more interesting a detective story than Mahabharata. But therefore, essentially what happens is that this Satya, authenticity, that's what is the second level. First thing is truth and Satya Manasa Vacha Karmana at the Krita Yuga. Then Dwapara Yuga, these two are there. Mana, Vacha, Vak and Karma. There should be what I say, it should be aligned with what I'm doing. So that means I promise I do it. That's why we have such people who have done it. Karna belongs to that. Bhishma belongs to that. He said that, no, I don't go back. I gave a word. Word is there. And then I don't go back. No, you will be killed. It's all right. But I will fight with, but I don't go back. In fact, it's a very beautiful way that Karna, Bhishma puts it. See, this Shantanu, Ganga left him and then he was without a wife. One day he was going in the boat and then he saw Satyavati. The moment he saw Satyavati, he was in love with that Satyavati. He felt it. But he thought, what is this? I'm a king and then she's a boat lady and all that. So he didn't want to say anything about that. He should forget it. But then when he came back, that memory made him depressed. He was not doing anything all right. He was depressed and all that. When he was depressed, then this is Devavrata actually. Bhishma is known as Devavrata. So Devavrata recognized something wrong with the dad. She asked dad, what happened? How can a dad say to the son, I'm in love with a girl? At least during those days. Today people say all those things, but then those days. So therefore they said, no. But then, no, nothing. It's nothing much. You can forget. But Devavrata did not stop there. He made an inquiry. He went to the minister and all that. The minister said, see, ever since when this dad is in such a depressed mood? He said, from the time that, we went for a game and then we had to cross the river. And while crossing the river, there was this lady who was there. And she was a very charming lady. I've also seen that lady. I think from that day onwards, dad was in like this particular. So maybe dad is in love with that child, that lady. After all, he's a king. King can have more than one wife and all that. And also now Ganga is not there, so therefore he can marry Satyavati. But then who has to initiate it? Minister said, we can't initiate that particular. Then Devavrata says, I will initiate the dialogue. So he went there, he found out who is Satyavati. Satyavati was supposed to be that, that the clan, so leader's daughter. That means for that small little hamlet, he is like the queen. And then he goes there and says that I am the son of. So, wow, such a big king and prince is coming here. Yes, what is the idea? Said, I came here to request your daughter's hand for my father's wedding. It is Shantnu's wedding. Then her father was excited because he can't think of bringing a prince to his son, his daughter, and here is the king himself is asking for that. He says, wow, it's wonderful. I think what can be more than that? So he is ready to agree. When he is ready to agree at that point of time, his wife pushes him. What? See, they have come themselves. You can't agree. You have to grab something more than that. It's an opportunity. So what is to grab? Then she advances the dialogue saying that, no, it's fine that your dad, you are asking for the wedding of my daughter. But only thing is that you are the son and he is the dad. So even if my daughter gets married to him, her children will be second. You are the first child. So first child will get the kingdom. So naturally, kingdom does not belong to them. But if they are married to somebody, I bring somebody and marry in our own clan, her children will be the kings here. Her child will be the king here. So that opportunity is lost. So we are thinking about that. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, I give up the kingdom. My brother will be there, younger brother. He will take over the kingdom. I don't worry about it. See how easy it is. Because the decision is about him only. Whether he takes the kingdom, he doesn't have the kingdom. It's his choice. Nobody can say anything to us. So somebody could give up the kingdom. One word. I promise that I will not become the king. And Satyavati's son will become the king. Oh, wow, wow. So wonderful. I mean, I can't think of anything better than that. But then this lady was still poking. What is that? In Kshatriya, actually, though the first son may not get the kingdom, but the first son's children will get the kingdom because they're the second generation. So therefore, your son will get the kingdom, not Satyavati's grandson. See how the pitch is. Our Satyavati's son can only be, you see, that's another thing is, he can only be a caretaker uh, king until your son becomes big. See, that's what later on also followed. Oh, that's the problem. Okay. Now Bhishma, there's the Gangeya, Devavrata promises, I will not marry. So that I will not have any son. So for generations, Satyavati's children will be there. Is it okay? When he gave that, see, look at the word that he has given, promise he has given. It was so terrible. That's why all the Panchabhutas say, Bhishma. That's how his name has become. Hold on to promise. Such a strong way that he held on to the promise. When Amba incident happened, Amba, Ambika, Ambalika, he brought them, and then Chitravirya, Vichitravirya. And then Amba said that I'm already in love with somebody. Then, okay, you go to your lover. So Bhishma actually with honor he sends her. And that fellow, he says that no, you won her, the Kshatriya Dharma, you won her, so therefore you marry. I cannot take her back. And then Amba says, okay, I will agree that if you marry. Because generally with Kshatriya, what happens is that a mightier king, then the girls will marry them, so therefore you can marry. No, I can't marry because I promised. You won me and brought me here. And then that fellow doesn't want to marry me. So that means my life is ruined and you don't want to marry. No, I don't want to marry. Why? Because I'm bound by the promise. We are going to break it. When such things happen, only Narada comes into the picture. Otherwise, Narada is not in the. And Narada is there, and suddenly Amba goes to Narada and says, "This is what is meant." Then Narada says, "I give you a trick. You just follow it." What is that? Just go and just fall at the feet of Parashurama. Hold his feet. And he says, "Get up." No, don't get up until you promise whatever I asked you, give it, and then only I'll get it. And she went there and held his legs and all that. And promise. And Parashurama says, "Okay, I'll promise." Everywhere promises. The word and deed. Okay, now tell me what it is. Your student is there. That's what is Bhishma. Bhishma won me in the battle, then he brought me, and now he doesn't want to marry. And then my ex-lover, he doesn't want me. So therefore, I am totally lost. So therefore, what should I do? Parashurama, tell your son, your disciple, your student, that he should marry me. Oh, that's a simple thing. So he calls Bhishma, and Bhishma comes there. So come on, marry Amba. Bhishma says, "I don't marry." Why? Because I'm bound by my own problem. Published. I can't marry. Yeah. No, I'll fight with you. I can fight with you, but then we don't marry. I don't marry. So they fought. The fight was going on and on, never resolved. After some time, this old man, Parashurama, what is this nonsense? I will go to my meditation. So he left everything and went. Now Amba was lost. When Amba was lost, then what to do? Then she prayed for Shiva, this, that, all these things. And then they said, okay, one thing is that in this life you cannot, but I'll give you a chance because you want to kill Bhishma. You give a chance to kill Bhishma. Otherwise, in this life you can't. Then she became Shikandi. And then Shikandi. So look at the way holding on to the word. Second aspect of dharma. First is the nyaya. Second aspect of dharma is word. Satya dharma. That's why we have such a beautiful mantra in Taittiriya Upanishad. Ritam Dakshina Paksha, Satya Uttara Paksha. These two are two wings where dharma is carried. What is Ritam? Ritam is the universal truth. Satya is the individual truth. Individual truth. Ritam is the samishti. Satyam is vyashti. So therefore, in the samishti, there is this particular truth, and I have the truth. So therefore, what happens is that I follow the truth, I promise everything. But only thing is that I can't be egoistic of my promise. I said something, I do it. Because whatever that you did, it is a part of the rhythm. It's like a matchstick has got light. The universe has the light. And the part of it, the energy that's there in the matchstick. You are like a matchstick. The universe has all these things. So therefore, you can be a follower of Satya, but at the same time, you cannot be egoistic of Satya because Ritam Dakshina Paksha, Satyam Uttara Paksha, these two things are there, and then you are in between. So you follow that Satya. Satya has that kind of a position. Like Ritam has a position, that's what I said. Fire burns. It's the nature of fire. Satya, your nature. Like the way Ritam has there in the nature, Satya is there within. It's like burning of the nature of burning is the nature of the fire. Telling the truth is your nature. It's not outside. That's what Dharma says, that you follow that. And I said that these are the three different levels. Patanjali says that it is not that you tell the Satya, but you respect the Satya itself. That's why we have people who respected the word that they have given. That is what is Satya. Come what may, whatever may be the circumstances, I follow the Satya. That's what we have the example of Harishchandra. In fact, there are occasions where Nakshatraka says, just tell that you did not promise. So that you can also go, I can also go with the rest. Please don't say that. Hold on. The same thing happens in the case of Kaikeyi also. Kaikeyi says to Dasharatha, whatever that you promised me happened in the war field between you and me. Nobody else is. Just tell one word that you have not promised, so that I don't ask. You can have that Patabhisheka and all those things. You can go ahead with that. But I don't. He pleads to Kaikeyi, please don't say that. I have promised. But you can do one more thing. He gives an alternative. You kill me. And then with Rama be take the kingdom and Rama. But no, you see how beautifully they. So hold on to the truth. That is authenticity. Promised, hold on to the promise. I'm prepared to die, but I do not want to go back on my promise. That's what happened to Harishchandra. That's why Harishchandra's name is prefixed with the Satya Harishchandra. But in the Rama's case, it is one step ahead. That's what Ramayana gives us the idea. Where is the Rama's position? Rama went to the forest, and all these people come to the forest. And actually, Lakshmana saw these people coming and said, no, Bharata is not satisfied with sitting at the forest. I think he wants to kill it. He comes with the whole army. But he says, Rama, don't worry about it. I can just stop Bharata from here itself. I can stop it. And Rama says, don't be foolish. First of all, find out why they are coming. And Bharata, I don't think is the nature of killing us and all these things. So wait. Bharata comes. And then he says that father died. That was a shock for them. So they did all the oblations for the father. All those things happened. And I came here, Rama, I request you to come back. Then Lakshmana hears that, tears in his eyes. He said to Bharata, hey, I have totally mistaken you, my dear brother. I thought that you came here on attacking us. I wanted to actually kill you from there itself. Then Bharata said, you should have done that. I would not have seen this situation. I would have been very happy. Please, how extraordinary, wonderful. Then they said, okay, I came here. But anyway, it's already evening. And so they, after initial ablations and all those things, they sat down. And then the assembly, on one side, Rama, Lakshmana, they were there. On the other side, all these three mothers, and Vasishta is there at the center, and Sumanta is also there, Bharata is there, and Shatrughna naturally will be there with Bharata. So Vasishta introduces that Rama, Lakshmana came with a request for him. So let him present his request. Then he says, what is that request? Lakshmana immediately says, Bharata says, Rama, please come back to the Ayodhya, because Ayodhya doesn't have a king now. And Dasharatha died, so that you are the eldest, so that you should come to the kingdom. You should take over the kingdom. This is what is the law. So this is what is dharma, you need to come back. And Rama says, no, I don't want to come, because I gave promise to my father. And immediately Kaikeyi jumps in and says that Rama, everything happened because of me. And now I realized what a grave situation has happened. At least now let us recover from this grave situation. What is that? Please come back. I take back my words. I take back my words with God. Rama says, Mother, before you were my mother, fond mother, even at that time you're fond mother, now also you are the same person. No change in you. And my love for you is exactly the same. There is no question between you and me, I pardon anything. It is between me and my dad. I gave word to my dad that whatever his wish is there, I take care of it. And wish is that I have to go to the forest. So I have come to the forest. Now he is not there. Now I cannot, there is nobody who is asking me about that. So therefore, I cannot come back. This is what is dharma. I 100% follow that. And so Bharata says, all these dharma kind of things, I'm not really interested in. The only thing is that Rama has to come back to kingdom. If Rama doesn't come back, I'll stay here. Arey, we have lost Rama and Lakshmana. Now we have lost Bharata also. If Bharata is going to be there, then Shatrugna also will be there. And so what is the solution for that? It's like a deadlock. And honestly, that's where basically, you see, Vasishtha does not give any side. There is no emotions interfering with that. Vasishtha says, on one side, when I look at Rama's dharma, it looks correct. On the other side, when you look at Bharata's, it's also extraordinary. I don't know which side to give the decision. Now, this portion actually, original Ramayana doesn't have it, but later on, some people connected. They're wonderful. Actually, they add to the beauty of the text. That's what is the advantage of this Ram. And when this was going, I don't know how do we get the solution? At that point of time, suddenly the sentry there, they announced that Janaka is coming. Because Janaka also came to know about Rama's exile. So he also came with the whole family. So they were coming. Oh, then Vasishtha feels relieved. My God, Janaka is coming at the right time. So he posed this point to Janaka. I have a great respect for Janaka because he's a great king. And also he is a Brahmanyana. He is both the advantages are there. So let us pose this point. So Janaka comes and then initially they came to know about all these things. So all those initial things happened. And then the point is presented. Janaka said, okay, just the issue. I will present it to Deva Deva, that's what is Shiva. And tomorrow, whatever the decision comes from my meditation, I will give it to him. He is also very calculated. When you look at these characters, look at the lofty transactions these people had. So next morning, actually that night, they go to their own tents and rest and all that, huts, and then Sulakshana, she is Janaka's wife. He says, so which side are you giving this side tomorrow? As he is going to give the decision. Janaka laughs. He says, I don't give the decision. I told everybody that I present it to Devadeva. That is, but whatever meditation I get it, I will present it. It must be Devavaku, not my personal one. You men are so horrible. Whatever the decision you give, but I don't want that lady to suffer. Now, often people think that she must be thinking of her daughter, Sita. And she said that lady should not suffer. That means bring Rama back. No, her idea was that Kausalya should not suffer. So whatever decision, it should be agreeable for Kausalya. What a subtle way. So this is how it comes to that level. And next day they sat down together. And then Janaka says, I presented this point in Devadeva. All the gods and goddesses, they were so happy, Rama, with your adherence to Dharma. Extraordinary. And they have all praised him. Everybody felt elated because now the next question is Rama will come back. Then he turned to Bharata. He says, Bharata, the love for your brother is something unparalleled. And it will remain as a legend in the whole mankind. Your love for your brother, Rama. And where love is there is no dharma. Beyond all the dharmas. So therefore you won it. And Bharata immediately says, okay. But there is one condition. And what is that condition? In love you give. You don't demand. So therefore you give. Bharata says, I give the kingdom. Hey, wait a minute. What doesn't belong to you, you can't give it. Because I'm in love with somebody, come and take all these. And it's somebody else's. You can't give. Kingdom doesn't even belong to you. Ask Rama what he wants. Rama is also not an easy fellow. He is so intelligent. He says, he knows now what is there in Bharata's heart. Therefore, he says, Bharata, give me the kingdom. Oh, Rama asked that, everybody was shocked, surprised. I said, give me the kingdom. And in love, we become one. So therefore, our responsibilities are this belong to us. Our riches also belong to us. Kingdom belongs to both of us. Responsibilities belong to us. Our responsibility is to take care of father's words. Let me go to the forest to take care of the words. You be in the kingdom as on my behalf. Oh, what an amicable solution. Nobody could think of it. So peacefully it was given. That's why second limb of Dharma is Satya, authenticity. And it is not only my promise, but my father's promise. So that's why Rama is given the adjective Pitruvakya Manupalayam, that father's, which basically means it's not that my truth, there is no ego of your truth, my promise. A promise is given, it has to be upheld. So value for the truth, not value for you. Remove you from behind the truth. That's what is the third limb. This can happen only when you live the truth. Otherwise, it cannot happen. That's why Patanjali says Satya Pratisthaya. It's not just for us what happens, we tell the truth. No. Or we promise the truth. No. Even that's also inferior. But you become the truth yourself. Like the way sun becomes the light, light becomes the sun. The same way, truth becomes you. And we have such examples we show how the truth becomes you in the case of Dwapara Yuga. We'll see the example of that in Mahabharata itself. See, we have seen one episode from Ramayana, one episode from Bharata. One more episode we see from Bharata to see that how that truth is taken care. See, why I wanted to say these things is that what a lofty level that dharma has been upheld in this society. And it is for the mankind. So therefore, it is Sanathana Dharma. It was applicable at that time. Today also it can be applicable. It can be applicable to anywhere else. It can be applicable. Though our scriptures have given these ideas, our Itihasas have given, but the truth is truth that we cannot deny it. Next time we continue with that truth, and then we'll take afterwards the third important component of Dharma. Two components we have taken, and the third component we will start. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, anybody have questions, you can just unmute and tell me. I don't think anybody has any questions. Or if there is anything in the chat box, you can see that. Yeah.
I thought audio was good.
Oh, they didn't get the audio?
Oh my God, so many questions are there. One second. Women by nature are compassionate and are admired for this. However, that very nature sometimes becomes a deterrent.
Yeah.
Where do you think the line would be drawn?
Women by nature is compassionate
Yes.
and
And are admired. However, that nature becomes a deterrent.
yes,
Where do you think
nature
that-
will not become a deterrent. The compassion that we have there within us, when we want, these are the two things that we need to do. Compassion, feeling the compassion is something which is very important. But when it comes to the level of expression of it, expression depends upon the world outside. Is the world ready to take it? is the world capable of digesting that? Or if the world is going to take advantage of that compassion, then you don't give it to the world. My compassion cannot spoil anybody else. My compassion can only make somebody a better person. My love can make somebody an elevated person. It cannot become a downfall for somebody. Same way, my compassion cannot be a reason for downfall for somebody. Like, for example, I'm compassionate for a child, but the child wants to put his hand in the fire. No, I don't allow that because that will harm the child. So my expression of compassion should be in such a way that the expression is in the world outside. It belongs to the world. Expression doesn't belong to me. Expression belongs to the world outside. World can take it. Yes, you do it. Otherwise, don't do it.
In the present day, in the name of being feministic, a sense of arrogance is developed in the young girls. How do we address that?
Why sense of arrogance? Why it is?
Arrogance has come to the young girls.
Why in what I say in the
In the
present
name
day?
of feminists.
Feminist. Actually, this feminist, the whole concept of feminism is so misunderstood. Feminine is always a complementary to masculine. Wherever we could complement, we could complement. And there is nobody higher, nobody is lower. That's why we have the concept of Ardhanarishwara. The feminist concept is the Western concept. Why it has come in the Western concept is basically the West never recognized women. That's why their popes are always men. They don't have any pope who is a women. And not only that, women are condemned. Women are dealt with as a property. And the very Bible says that woman is created by the thigh bone of a man. What can be more deterrent than that? And you create a story, all fancy stories, like, Harry Potter and all that you create. Like that, you create this also as a story, and then you make that this is God has given message. So therefore, it is in the Old Testament. So women is supposed to, and what a horrible that they have done it. Both in Christianity and also in Islam, women have been completely condemned. That's the reason why the feministic movement has started. It is a vengeance against the church rule. We never had that idea. That's why we have such a wonderful idea. Yastu naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha. We have a different attitude towards women. We never condemn women. Simple, by the lady comes to clean our house. We respect her so much.
We do not have a women head for Sringeri Mat.
We don't have women. See, actually, but the deity there is Sharda Devi. Because the deity itself is Sharda Devi. What else do you want? Man takes care of woman.
The Puranas talk about Pativrata, but
Yeah.
sometimes there is a total discord and we see women suffering. How do we educate our girls to empower? We do not have examples of broken homes in Puranas.
Yeah, I will actually, I'm just giving a few ideas connected with this Dharma, but I'm not yet gone into the Puranas. I'm going into the Puranas later on when at the proper time, I'll bring in all the ideas of Purana. What are the Puranas? Why they have come? What is the message that they have to give? All that I will come to that. That's the reason why I said that this Sanatana Dharma lectures, it goes for such a long time.
Isn't the tiger, the story of the tiger, I think last time you also talked about the tiger, right?
Yeah.
Punyakoti.
Punyakoti.
Isn't the tiger going against his dharma because it is his dharma to eat the cow? Otherwise
Yes.
he died.
See, that's why the tiger says that at this point of time, at this moment, I respect the truth. Satya. That's why it is called as. And why did you come back? And the mother also says to the little cow, Satyavena matai tande, Satyavena bandhu balaga. That means to say, truth is everything for me. and then he respects the truth. It does not mean that tiger, after all, went and ate some bangan, etc., etc. He must have eaten the other animals wherever it comes. But that cow came, he respected that cow, not because that it is cow, but because the truth that cow represented. So that's why these stories, we should not extend too much. And afterwards, wait, what is that tiger ate? I mean, these are all
Yes.
essence of the story is very important. Message of the story is important.